Hey, Sneak Peekers!
I'm Rosie.
And I'm Bridget. Today, we will take time to memorialize Hollywood actress Diane Keaton.
After that, we'll educate you horror fans on the legacy of stop motion.
And finally, we have brought back franchise doctors to revive the horror genre.
You won't want to miss this. Starting off our news desk, we have the big news in Hollywood. Warner Brothers is for sale.
In other news, water is wet.
Okay, this may not be a shock to everyone, but it's not happening the way it was expected to go. You see, the original plan by Warner Bros. Discovery was to split themselves away from Discovery, putting the debt and undesirables onto them and leaving Warner Brothers with everything good.
But it now seems like potential buyers are interested in both companies. Netflix, Comcast, and Paramount are now interested in the whole shebang, except for one part.
Their broadcast and cable channels. Outside of HBO, it seems the market isn't interested in any traditional television assets. It's only a matter of time until the only linear channel that's important is Texas Student Television.
Exactly. Turns out people aren't addicted to just watching endless reruns.
You say that, but have you seen the movies coming back to theaters this Halloween weekend?
You mean Back to the Future? That's different. You can literally never get tired of watching that, especially in IMAX.
That's not it. 2 additional films are re-releasing into theaters starting on the 31st, including Sinners back in IMAX, and for the first time in theaters, K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh my god, that's so stacked. Who do you think's gonna win next weekend?
Well, a random mailman sent me a letter from some guy named Emmett Brown this morning that claimed to have the answer.
And what did it say?
The highest grossing movie of Halloween weekend will be Ma.
Oh. Well, okay, didn't expect that. Just like I didn't expect the surprise cast announcement for Wicked for Good.
Wait. Don't tell me. I've been doing such a good job at staying away from spoilers.
Well, you have 5 seconds to cover your ears. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Coleman Domingo has been casted as the Cowardly Lion.
Crap! I heard you through my hands. Why would you do this to me?
Well known for his role in Sing Sing, he will be taking in the voice acting role of the furriest of Dorothy's group, acting alongside...
No, shut up. You will not speak any further. If nothing else, I'm happy to see an honorary Texan repping in Wicked, with Fear the Walking Dead having shot in Austin and Sing Sing having premiered at South by Southwest.
Well, if premiering at a Texas festival makes you a Texan, then we have a lot more people to give that award to this Thursday with the start of AFF.
That's right. The Austin Film Festival starts this week and will run until October 30th, with notable premieres such as Eternity, Christie, Wake Up Dead Man, Rental Family, and Is This Thing On?
I think so. Hey, are we getting audio?
No. Is This Thing On is the name of the movie directed by Bradley Cooper.
Oh, well, I'm sure that'll be just as good as his other movies.
What does that mean?
Moving on to this week's movie recommendation, we have Dog Soldiers, a former AFF film. This movie is perfect to get you in the Halloween spirit with an interesting take on a werewolf's hunt.
I recommend watching with friends, some popcorn, and an expectation to see some cool stuff. Moving to a more somber topic, we would like to remember legendary actress Diane Keaton. Her 50-year career spanned the heights of film and television, and today our sneak peekers want to memorialize her impact in the industry and to each of our lives.
Take it away.
Old New Hollywood. No, not that one. Too recent. Too old. That one. Is a greatly mythologized era in filmmaking canon. Spry young voices having grown up on classic Hollywood fare were finally given their chance to strut their own stuff on and off camera with daring, provoking, and anarchic offerings from once tight-laced studios. Many voices have etched themselves into the zeitgeist then and have yet to weather away. However, the 70s were 50 years ago, and many of these bright voices have sprouted silver hair and grown tired. In recent memory, acclaimed women such as Shelley Duvall and Jenna Rowlands have been among these new twilight waves of stars to leave us. And it is with a heavy heart that we remember that on October 11th, 2025, the one and only Diane Keaton passed away at age 79. Today, we honor and remember her place in pop culture, with less cavity cert jokes than Woody Allen did during his AFI tribute to her. From her theatrical beginnings on the original 1968 Broadway production of the provocative counterculture musical Hair, to her first nomination and one and only Oscar victory in 1977 for Annie Hall, to her ruminations on the afterlife that materialized as her directorial debut with 1987 documentary Heaven and diving into voice work as Dory's mother in 2016's Finding Dory, Diane Keaton lived not to act in or tell, but live stories. It is to our great pleasure that she lived a life in work. Now, understand that no matter what her name reads, Diane Keaton is spelt range. As an off-kilter comedian in films like Manhattan Murder Mystery and Book Club, she's an absolute riot with self-deprecating candor and warm stone faces. As a woman in self-destructive tailspin in films like The Godfather, 1 and 2, especially not 3, and Looking for Mr. Goodbar, Keaton can make you either completely empathize with despair for her gilded cages or make you bark at the screen to stand up for herself. Even behind the camera, Diane was a decorated director in her own, having directed documentaries, music videos, and narrative features. Keaton ran the gamut of acting know-how, but her wide range and extensive filmography should not off-put those unfamiliar with her game. For most filmgoers and directors agree that the definitive Keaton role is her Oscar-winning role in 1977's Annie Hall. Writer-director star Woody Allen had been in a relationship with Keaton prior to writing the script of a movie originally called Anhedonia, the clinical term for an ability to feel pleasure. The character of Annie Hall takes much from Keaton's actual life. Her name mixes her nickname and her actual last name. Personal brand, self-deprecating humor, awkwardness, brashness are clad shoddily androgynous garb. Allen's character, and by extension the entirety of the movie-going audience, immediately fell in love with her character. Her arc from bashful beholdens to Allen's coercions and belittlement to armed strength character, career woman fell in line with the new wave depictions of women in Hollywood in the wake of the women's liberation movement with films like Wanda and An Unmarried Woman, which painted an uncertain, unshackled, yet audaciously hopeful future for women. Annie was just the most protracted and absurd rendition of these sentiments, tripping over herself with baggy chinos and yet laughing all the way down. Still, sticking Keaton with the burden of an era's entire feminist theory reappraisal comedy of one of the defining genres of old new Hollywood revolution, and Premiere calling this one of the greatest performances of all time out of the 70s into the rest of her career is, for whatever it's worth, doing it a service. Although Keaton never strayed too far from those key facets that made her so endearing in 1977, she never stagnated, laughing into a pigeonhole and hearing nothing but applause echo back. Her personality was universal. Her eccentricity and sensibilities made her pleasure to listen and to watch. Her laugh was enough to make an entire room smile, and she knew exactly how to translate these facets into any project that she worked on and off screen. If Diane Keaton should stand for anything, she should be remembered as the exception to one of the myriad fibbing similes our parents tell us as children. She was that one unique snowflake caught in the wind, floating high above homogeneous mounds of snow on the ground. Mrs. Keaton, you will be missed. La-di-da, la-di-da, la-la. Yeah.
Hey, Rosie, what are you going to be for Halloween?
I'm gonna be Alphaba.
Awesome. Wait, I'm going to be Alphaba. Should we battle cry each other for it?
Actually, let's not. Sneak Peeker Nolan listed the most overused costumes this year, so any viewers won't fall into the same boat as us.
Harsh. Roll the clip.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the year again. The weather is dropping from 90 to 89, things are being flavored pumpkin that have never been flavored before, and we're all thinking the exact same thing. What am I going to be for this Halloween? There's a myriad of options that you can choose from, but far too often we all start to choose the same thing. Now, I can't pick your costume, but I can put you onto the righteous path. Here at Sneak Peek, we went through all of the options for this year's Halloween costumes, and we found our picks for the top 10 most overused costumes of 2025, hoping that our information can make sure you go down and pick a true original choice. Wicked. Besides being overused, there's another issue with this costume, the power dynamics. Say that you and a friend have decided that you want to be Glinda and Elphaba. Really soon you're going to find out who wears the pants in that relationship. Because one of you is going to be really pretty in pink with a tiara, glitter, and a wand, and the other is going to be green. really green. Friends don't make friends green. Mary and Stack from Sinners. I'll say this about this costume. It is tailored for Halloween. Horror elements, attractive costumes, it really is a perfect couple's costume. But the big downside is, I don't think any of us are gonna be able to trust anybody in this costume to stay PG. It's just way too horny. And that's not always a bad thing, but it is around me. If you really wanna stand out, you gotta dress as Remick and, do a little white boy jig. The basics. Yeah, it's kind of a cheat to put these all in the same category, but it's a much bigger cheat to actually go out and wear this. You know who you are. I'm talking about any firefighter, cop, bunny, cat. Wait, that leads to a good question. Why are so many of these sexual animal costumes? And if you're gonna be a sexy animal, why not go for something original when you're inside of that? Why have I never seen a sexy vulture or a sexy fish? And when I mean sexy fish, I don't mean a mermaid. I wanna see gills, I wanna see face, I want the full fish. Political. Look in my eyes. I need you to understand this. If you dress as anything political for this Halloween, you are going to kill the vibe. A Border Patrol agent, you've killed the vibe. Charlie Kirk, you've ruined the vibe. Look, as somebody who's gone and dressed as Alec Baldwin's impression of Donald Trump, it's not as fun as it looks, and it's just gonna start an argument, and that's not what Halloween is about. Also, for transparency, I tried to think of a democratic option to sprinkle in here, but I literally couldn't think of anything. Who's going dressed up as Mom Donnie this Halloween? And for Sneak Peek's vote for the most overused Halloween costume of 2025, we have this new classic, the Lorax. This has become one of the new staples of the overused costume, toppling past winners like Harley Quinn. Just overall, it really is the worst. Fueled by internet trends, childhood nostalgia, and the funny costume, it's just, you just can't do it. Look, let me bring this into perspective. You're gonna have your legs tucked into your shirt. What does that mean? It'll just be really easy to kick over. And I'm not saying anybody should do that. I don't think anybody should do that. But what if they did? What if somebody saw this really dumb costume and they just kicked you over? What if it was me? Or what if it wasn't? I don't know. And that concludes the most overused Halloween costumes of 2025. If you saw your costume on this list, I'm sorry, but you have to change. Now. If you don't, who will? Look at it this way. When you're disoriented and halfway blind on 6th Street, with your friends behind you trying to find you in the crowd to take you home, would you rather be one of a million Labubus or the only Velocipaster? This has been Nolan Wally, signing off.
Can you believe it's been 127 years since the beginning of stop motion?
We're gonna have to fact check that, but luckily, our stop motion expert Frankie will be telling us the legacy of the horror of the stop motion style.
Take it away.
Stop motion has terrorized many people for years, regardless of what the main storyline is. Seeing inanimate objects move just like humans can give viewers an uncanny feeling. We can trace stop motion all the way back to 1907 in the US with the short film The Haunted Hotel, directed by J. Stuart Blackton, made with only paper cutouts. Blackton is considered to be the inventor of stop motion, with the earliest of his films being lost due to time. Although the title The Haunted Hotel does sound like a horror movie, it actually is just household items preparing a meal. During stop motion's infancy, it told stories of fantastical adventures. As time went on, it found its footing in the horror genre. It utilizes the uncanny feeling to its advantage and uses it to create otherworldly scenes. One of the first, if not the first, to incorporate both genres was King Kong 1933, a true classic. What would become common practice in the stop-motion genre, much of the scenes involving King Kong terrorizing the city are actually handcrafted miniature versions of the actual set, including King Kong himself. King Kong stood at a whopping 18 inches, although some of the scenes, which included real-life actors, had giant set pieces that made the actors look teeny tiny. This film helped to develop what we would know to be basic special effects techniques.
Many of the films that came after it would be animal monster movies, such as The Mighty Joe Young and The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. Most of the stop-motion horror films that were made after these films included a cast of real-life actors. The first movie that included an on-screen cast full of just animated characters comes all the way back from the now-dissolved Czechoslovakia, called Krabat, The Sorcerer's Apprentice by Karl Zeman, made in 1978. This film is an adaptation of a fairy tale by the same name. It follows a beggar boy who becomes an apprentice to a sorcerer, and the boy ends up working in the mill. In the mill, we learn that there's a large number of boys also working there. During all of the hard labor the children do, the sorcerer learns black magic. There is a love plot that I won't talk about because it gives away the whole plot. Now, if we want to take it back all the way to more modern times, we can look at the Henry Selick. He is responsible for most of the notable stop-motion films we know and love today, such as my personal favorite, Coraline, and James and the Giant Peach. Initially, Selick began working with Disney in the animation department making short films. Disney is where he made one of the most notable and iconic stop-motion horror films, The Nightmare Before Christmas. Although it is debatable whether the film is horror, it has ghost ghouls and skeletons. So let's say it's just horror. It is from this point forward where we would see stop-motion films that exclusively have a fully animated cast. Selick created worlds that we thought were only part of our imagination and brought them to life. Although some of those films made children cry at the theater, it was prevalent that the images on screen were not only beautiful, but extremely impressive, considering they were all made from scratch. Since this point, the stop-motion horror genre had fully developed its look. It uses sculptures and cutouts to make unreal imagery that continue to terrify the new generation of movie watchers, but it also shows how stop-motion animation films impact and help develop the world of special effects in the film industry. And that's all from me, sneak peekers. Stay tuned for Franchise Doctors Horror Edition after this commercial break.
Is there a doctor in the studio?
What kind of doctor? A dermatologist, a pediatrician, a plastic surgeon?
No, a franchise doctor. We need new horror movies ASAP.
Wouldn't you know it? We have our licensed and certified sneak peekers out here working with their magic on some select horror franchises right now. Take it away.
Hey sneak peekers, we are those titular franchise doctors here, and since it's spooky season, we are mad doctors now, and we have brought with us 3 horror film genres. But before we do that, let's introduce ourselves. How about that?
I'm Frankie.
I'm Dan,
I'm Caroline.
and we have brought
The Nightmare on Elm Street.
Leprechaun.
And Terrifier.
These are franchises that we deem worthy of another installment. Some already have installments in the works, and some will definitely not have installments anytime soon. But here we are. A man can dream. Anyway, which one of us wants to start off pitching their newest entry into their franchise?
I can do it. Everyone goes to space. Freddy Krueger hasn't gone to space. I would... Okay. It was, I think it was in Dream Warriors where Freddy Krueger was Super Freddy. Or,
Yes.
right? Dream Warriors?
No, Super Freddy was in 5.
Freddy's Dead? No, that's 6.
No, Freddy's at yeah. 5 is
Freddy's Revenge. No, that's 2.
no.
Anyway,
Super Freddy.
Super Freddy. He needs to go in space. Mr. Super Freddy needs to turn into metal. He needs to be a robot. Yeah, and I don't know. Because I like Leprechaun in space. I love the Leprechaun series. That, let me tell you,
Okay.
my dad had all the DVDs.
I did too.
I'm
Yes.
saying.
Okay, I also had that Walmart DVD collection of all the Leprechaun movies. That was
Exactly.
$15.
Yep,
Best purchase I ever made.
a deal.
A deal. So your movie is Freddy in space.
Freddy in space.
All right.
The
where's-
Nightmare on spaceship. Nightmare on Elm spaceship.
on Station Elm. Okay, got
On
it.
Station
Space
Elm.
Station Elm.
There
Okay.
you go.
Do you want to go ahead and pitch
Okay,
Terrifier
yeah.
4?
So, first of all, his name is Art the Clown. He's actually a mime. Let's just get that straight.
Okay.
Bad name. Second of all, I think we should make him talk. I think that's a plot twist we haven't seen coming. I mean, they can only do the routine of killing people in weird ways so long that eventually we need to just make him talk. So that's I think we should do Terrifier Talks, the podcast.
A podcast
Oh.
series.
Yeah.
Is he like a red pill podcaster?
He would definitely be a Red Bull podcaster.
Would he appear on the Joe Rogan?
He would
podcast?
definitely be on Joe Rogan.
Oh.
But I also feel like, I feel like he'd be on Joe Rogan, to be honest. But
Okay.
So that means he'd be here in Austin. Wait, is Joe
Oh.
Rogan here in Austin?
Joe Rogan's here in Austin, yes.
We could be on that podcast.
Oh,
I'm
good.
sorry.
I don't
Oh,
know
I'm so
about me.
good.
You know what? I love a good
I'm
debate.
actually the best, actually. I'm so good. So we have Nightmare on Space Station Elm.
Yep.
We have Terrifier for the podcast now. It talks.
Yeah.
And my pitch is we have Leprechaun, which is a small monster, right? That's the whole gimmick. Small Irish monster. What do small monsters usually do? They multiply. We have the gremlins, we have the critters. These are all small creatures that multiply, that have more. And you know what we need? We need more Warwick in our lives. So I'm pitching.
Yes.
Leprechaun meets Gremlins. All right, let's just put all of these together. Let's just cross these over. Madness will ensue. You know, dump it in water, see what happens. He's been to space. He's been to the hood. He's been through hell and back. He's been to Vegas, right?
That's a good movie.
That's 3, right?
I don't know, but that's a good movie.
He does Vegas. He's been everywhere where he doesn't belong at this point. And you know what? Why not? Let's just throw in some other beloved franchises in there. Let's throw in Critters as beloved franchise and Gremlins. I think we can wreak some havoc here. I think
the
this.
Muppets.
Why not? You know what? Anything small that's kind of scary, throw it in. Why not? Hobgoblins, the Munchies, I guess. I'm digging deep here, guys, for any small critter movies. What else is there?
Trolls.
The Trolls?
If you want to like really go into the nitty gritty of it, Chucky multiplied.
Ooh.
Oh, Leprechaun v. Chucky.
Chucky did multiply in Cult of Chucky.
That is a movie I would watch 100%.
Okay, so since there's no AVP coming out anytime soon, Alien vs. Predator, I think we need a new B movie versus
I mean,
series at this point.
Chucky involves like voodoo and Leprechaun's like magic.
Leprechaun. Oh,
So
yes.
it's like the two different sides of like the otherworldly powers.
I see. Okay, interesting. So what we now have is Leprechaun v. Chucky. We have Nightmare on Space Station Elm and Terrifier 4. It talks now. Which one of these would we actually watch? Let's just be completely.
Leprechaun versus
Yeah.
Chucky.
Y'all would
I
pay to
mean,
watch this one.
Yeah.
So many franchises that have done that, like Muppets Take Manhattan. There's just so many things that you can just like modify in that way.
Oh, just takes meets.
Yeah,
Okay.
takes meets.
Takes meets. You know
Yeah.
what? Freddy v. Jason, right? Classic meets.
Was it a good movie though?
That's irrelevant. We're here talking about Leprechaun.
But like, okay, a lot of the good versus movies, or a lot of the versus movies, kind of fall short.
Yeah, you put two divas together and then you expect them to
They're
fight.
gonna have
No,
a diva off.
they're gonna have a diva off, and no, you just get Freddy getting called the F slur in one of the movies. So you know we do what we can.
In a striped sweater.
In a striped.
Mm.
Oh God, I love that movie though. I
That was
cannot
a good
lie.
scene. I'm not gonna lie.
The good scene.
That was a good scene.
The only good scene.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
I thought the kills were good, but that's besides the point.
Mm. I don't know.
And you see, Terrifier is interesting because it's such a new franchise. We're digging
Yeah.
deep here with like
Yeah.
80s and 90s. This is the newest franchise, and
Yeah.
it's probably the newest horror icon to be added to like canon, I guess. Unless we want to count Megan.
And what's fairly new? Podcasting.
Oh,
That would be insane.
I mean, I'm pretty sure in Philly he takes out a podcaster, so
What?
it's on his way. He's on his way.
He's on his way.
That's fair.
What would he talk about? Do you think?
Well, he hasn't talked. So,
So hey, that's what we're here. That's what we're here.
Yeah.
Let's pitch these.
Has he ever talked?
no.
He's made noises. but
like-
that's-
I don't even know.
Is
if
he
he's made
human?
Noises.
he's not human.
We don't really know.
Okay.
It's not.
He should talk about brushing his teeth.
Ooh.
Just human. try to appeal to the humans.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. Really?
I feel like he'd have a really scratchy voice.
Oh yeah. For
Like
sure.
it'd be nasty.
Yeah.
Like gross. Like he'd have huge,
Nails on a chalkboard.
huge cotton mouth.
Would he even be funny? He's supposed to be a mime. He's supposed to be funny. Like, would he be funny? Would he bring on stand-up comics? Is the he?
He'd probably be a filmmaker.
Ooh, ew.
Mm-hmm.
Snuff films, you think?
Oh, I didn't
Snuff-
say that, yeah.
Oh well, yeah.
I didn't say that.
I said that.
You said that.
I'll stand by it.
But I think Leprechaun vs. Chucky wins.
It's Leprechaun v. Chuck.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm sad to say that my pitch actually managed to win.
Yep.
Well, we doctored it a bit.
Yeah.
And that's what we're here for. We are the franchise
Mhm.
doctors. And all right, that's it.
See you next
Halloween.
week.
Happy Halloween.